now listening to Wealthy Sisters Radio Show. We're now listening to Wealthy Sisters with Deborah Hardnett.
Well, great morning, and welcome to Wealthy Sisters Radio with a View. I am Deborah Hardnett, your host, and as always, I'm super excited and grateful to share this space and time with you. We want to remind you here on Wealthy Sisters that we have a twofold purpose. First, we have to make sure that we provide you, our incredible audience, with inspiration and encouragement. And we want to make sure through this knowledge that you get today that it is practical, something that you can apply to your life, right? And to your business, and have not just a long-term impact, but an immediate impact, because we are about growth here, right? The second purpose is to make sure that we continue. It is so necessary. Oh my gosh, is it necessary to provide a platform that highlights, showcase, and say thank you to the sisters and brothers for doing big things. That's right. We want the world to know that we are multidimensional. We can do more than one thing to create success, right? We can own businesses. We are super talented, and our young people need to know that there are alternatives out there to you that doesn't always include, nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't always include the entertainment industry. So today's show, I'm telling you, our guest, oh my gosh, I have known him for, I guess it's going on 2 decades now. And I cannot say he is the best that I can say that can talk about what we're going to talk about today. The benefits of social entrepreneurship. What is it, right? And we're going to talk about the benefits of that today. I have the pleasure and privilege to introduce to you my brother. He is super, super giving, worldwide traveler, building, teaching. He is the president of the Teaching Artists Institute. I pray that I didn't mess that up. But I am not going to hold him from you any longer. It's my privilege to introduce you to my brother, Haki Ammi. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right. All right, my brother. Welcome. What a pleasure to have you here on Wealthy Sisters today.
No, thank you. It's great to join you. It's great to see you. You look amazing. You're doing amazing things as always, as I only would expect. So appreciate the opportunity to join you this afternoon. So it's great to be on Wealthy Sisters. I'm happy that you have a brother on. So, let's get it and have some fun and talk to your audience. So you are in Atlanta too. So
yes.
Like next week, so I'm just sliding through for a day or so, but looking forward.
Okay, well, you definitely got to let me know, perhaps we can connect some type of way, or you just going to fly through the airport, or you doing like a lot of people. I'm just, making a change over in the airport.
Exactly.
Well, I'm telling you, brother, it takes one to know one. And I'm trying to remember, I think we met at the same time I met our brother, Devin Collins. And I just got to pay tribute to my brother, our brother. What an incredible being he was, and an incredible light that God placed on this earth. I mean, his impact, you have people, you don't have to talk to them every day. You don't have to talk to them every month. But to know that, to meet a type of individual like that, your life can be enriched. So I definitely want to pay tribute to our brother, Devin Collins, in memory of him today. But we met at that networking event. It was a networking event in DC, and I think you guys might have been there together, I want to I'm not sure if you remember, but that's, like I said, it's about 2 decades.
Wow, yeah.
The time.
I'm happy to be, still growing, shall I say, still thinking and reflecting and uh, leveling up, always striving to level up in all aspects of my life. So, yeah, and Brother Devin is the brother, we stayed in touch for all those years. We actually went to the Ravens game, and I'm not a football person, but he can get me to go. He actually got me some tickets, and he flew up for the New Orleans Ravens game. And
Yeah, them ain'ts. I'm an Atlanta Falcon, so I gotta say that. We used to go back and forth on that.
yeah, he's a big fan of that. And one just very quick story about how I appreciate this brother so much. He's the only
Yeah.
brother that I probably you can call me 6 o'clock in the morning and tell me, brother, I missed my flight. I need you to go to this workshop at the Congressional Black Caucus. And
Yes.
I get out of my bed and I get up and go to DC to be there about 8 or 8 o'clock. So yeah, he's the only brother that I could do that for. As tired as I
Oh,
was in the morning,
yes,
he
yes.
wanted me to be there. I'll be there. So that's just the type of brother he was. So may he rest in peace in his family as well.
Yes, indeed. That is so true. I remember that with the Congressional Black Caucus. I mean, and him trying to fly up, being there as well. And one of the things that I love so much about when you call him, he make you feel like, like, wow, like you could do anything just from picking up the phone. What's up, black woman? I used to love hear him say that. Nobody
Yeah.
could say that like Devin. Yes, indeed. So, Brother Haki, as I said, it's just been a pleasure and a privilege watching you, as you say, always, growing and leveling up. And, what I'd like to ask you before we get into our topic today, we always kind of like to get an idea because, as I said, our first purpose here is to make sure that we provide inspiration and encouragement to the listener. And sometimes people can see someone on the screen, right? And they can say, okay, he's doing this. Wow. They go to your website, they see your bio, they see all the things that you've been doing, and they think, well, that's him. I want people to know that this can be you too. This can be them too. So if you don't mind sharing, a little bit about, as we say, that recipe that went into you, like your journey that led you to what you are doing today.
Right. Thank you. Yes, indeed. So, Haki Ammi, the Success Scholar. I was actually born in the Baltimore area. For the most part, I always say that I was average in many aspects of my life early in my younger youth years, and I was fortunate to graduate, getting my PhD, my public high school diploma. Just graduated from Baltimore City Schools, and I, on some levels, realizing that many of the urban challenges that could happen, I wanted to get away, and the wisest thing I thought at that time was for me to go into the United States Navy, and so I went there for like 4.5 years, and really experienced, a transformation. That's not just being, occupationally, but consciously. It was there that I began my search, my quest for knowledge and discovery. First, self-discovery, learning who I was as a man, young man at that particular time, and trying to deprogram the miseducation, the undereducation, the dysfunctionality that is systematically caused in some of these urban environments. And so I deprogrammed myself and uh, attempted to understand, the complexity of urban and black male existence. And so I did that substantially. And, after getting out of the Navy, fortunately, I was exposed to some early entrepreneurial operations. I read a lot of books, started reading a significant amount of books in diverse topics, and discovering network marketing. That was a very wise trajectory for me to expose myself to individuals in my small world of just being in Baltimore, being in a Navy, people that were making substantial incomes and practicing personal self-development and lifelong learning. So I kind of well-rounded myself in some of these lifestyles, and just expanded my mind to believe that I could do more in life and I can become more. So I'll just open and say if it, that was my early trajectory, and then I came back to Baltimore after I got out honorably discharged.
That's awesome, and thank you for your service there. I read on your website, how I just never knew that you were in the Navy, and how you said that really, really gave you a global perspective, right? And it's just so incredible how we look at everything in our life and we can kind of look back and see it's a building block, for the next level. And I love when you talked about your belief system and how last week we had our guest, Sherry Fields. That was the Fields. She is the COO of Natural Radiant Life. It's a natural skincare company that it's all organic and plant-based. But, she's got her start in direct sales. $1 million producer as well, did incredible. And we talked about a lot of that being a foundation for the belief system, the personal development system. So that's something you said, you were able to spend that time traveling and then coming out, reading those books. And I'd love to know some of the books that you were reading to help you change that mindset, because we're not taught to be entrepreneurs in school. So it's like you got to do a complete 180 from what we've been programmed to do.
Absolutely. Well, certainly many of the earlier books that many people actually, the Think and Grow Rich, but I was also socially conscious and into Black psychology, Black sociology. So I was sort of reading some of the Naim Akbars and some of the, during earlier period, but then moving into business, I began to read different entrepreneurial books, the George Fraser, Les Brown's, and some, not just I guess many of the books that the same companies teach you to read, the Proctor and what's the
Jim Rohn.
It's Jim Rohn, of course. So Tony Robbins, just the Think and Grow Rich is the Who Moved My Cheese, just the different books that the magic of thinking big.
Oh yeah.
So I really, as well as listening to audios, of course, I think I sort of rounded myself, and I realized. It took me some years, because sometimes I'm not going to say you can over, emphasize some of these books, but I think that there are certain practical things that business people need to be aware of, that I had to round myself. Even, for instance, I'll give you this example: The Millionaire Next Door, and things like that. And, there was no series surrounding that. Just so that kind of gave me just a good well-rounded balance in terms of thinking about how, even if you got the money,
flash or not.
Like I saw early, just a lot of people, even people that look like myself, and I was thinking, I was like, wow. And I'm reading things, and I'm like, we although we may be making this money, we shouldn't be like trying to, floss like with it.
Right. Right. Oh, I should have said floss. I guess that's more of a current term. I'm dating myself.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Flossing is like, I don't know, for people, like, buy bling bling. You understand what bling bling is, right?
Bling bling. Yeah, bling bling. That's what I should have said. Bling bling, flossing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I just realized that and honestly, this is the first generation of Black people who have, an opportunity to really access all of this knowledge that even technology has made it accessible, a lot of information accessible to the masses of the people. So we can really practice personal self-development and lifelong learning.
Yes, that's powerful. That's powerful. And, when we talk about self-development and lifelong learning, it is a great transition to the benefits of being a social entrepreneur. Share something with you. My husband called me a little bit before we came on air, and he's like, I gotta tell you what just happened to me. He went in a well-known nationwide known branch of a bank. This just happened. It was one lady in there, period. One teller. This was probably about 10 a.m., maybe about 10:15, 10:20. One teller in the entire, no security, in a very high traffic area that has been known to have crime in the area. One lady, one teller. He was like, he wanted to see manager because they have a relationship. Where is anybody? I don't know. This is what the teller said. I don't know. They had the drive-through lines closed because she couldn't do the drive-through and all the people coming in the door.
Wow.
He's like, I've never seen this. I was like, I've never heard that either. So I was like, wow, is that an example? Because my thing is, if that were me, I'm sorry, I'm going to shut that bank down. I am not going to sit in a bank in a high traffic area by myself. Oh, that's no way. And I said, man, how is that? That's definitely not an example of social entrepreneurship, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, no, I mean, and you gotta wonder, like, what's the regulations in terms of what they need? You know what I'm saying? In terms of, and that's even and I'm learning a lot about scaling, having these conversations about scaling and capacity, like knowing what a lot of people have lofty goals and dreams, but sometimes your own movement, your own brand, you have to learn how to partner with people who've been there and done it, because a lot of people, they bite off more than what they can chew, and that's getting back to the point is that somehow in their management philosophy, like, okay, like, all right, although we up at this level, we haven't managed our manpower, and so yeah, but and that's very unfortunate, and she could have got taken advantage of. I mean,
yes. May the angels protect her. I'm just saying, it's just being exposed, like you said, by themselves like that, but in the bank's defense, every industry is having a problem with manpower, with resources of, employees. So, but I'm saying being socially responsible and concerned about the safety of your employees should always be first. But we know when profit sharers, they've got to deal with that. That indicates what happens, right? But I don't know if it could have been an emergency. If this person got sick, that one this, or had a flat tire, whatever. But that's why I'm saying with those type of measures put in place, hey, that's when you shut that bank down temporarily. You don't leave, in my ignorant opinion, I'm saying ignorant because I don't know the operations, but that's when you close the doors. And that's what I mean about being socially, social entrepreneurship. And I know it's bigger than that, but
No, that's a
yeah.
good point. Thank you for elaborating on that. Appreciate that. Richard Greer says, genuine leadership, putting your team first.
Yes, exactly. And he's Mr. Smiling Richard Greer, a gentleman that I tell you needs no introduction. We appreciate you watching us today. He definitely knows about the leadership, and I want to say, I think he's Air Force. I want to say, but I know he's retired military as well, so you all share that in common. But so let's talk about, the social entrepreneurship aspect. Talk to us about what you are doing with your incredible company, the organization, the Teaching Artists Institute. Did I say that correct?
Correct.
Yes. Teaching Artists Institute. Yes.
So we had several operations. Teaching Artists Institute has been working in 7 countries in Africa, but we also, we have what's called Thai tours. So principally, we now have positioned ourselves to be one of the top tour companies in the whole East Africa. So, and targeting African Americans, for instance, that, desire to, do whatever they desire, tour. Some people want to do more than just tour in terms of business. And so we are definitely open to, meeting with business people on the ground, as well as the historical. I mean, principally, one of our target locations for the past few years has been Tanzania. So we, did that over the past 2 or 3 years, and that we call that fertile ground because it's a pretty, what I believe is a significant strategic opportunity. So I got connected perhaps 2-3 years ago, and I realized that Tanzania was the perfect opportunity for me to go to Africa. Before that, I had not gone. I mean, I knew a lot of the scholars, the historians, and even individuals.
Devin.
Oh, right. Yes. That brother.
We could not forget him. Yes.
Yes. Dr. Smalls and Patricia Newton, many of the African-centered historians, if you will, that mostly when people talk about Africa, many, for instance, Black people are going to the west coast of Africa. They're going to the Ghana or Senegal, Gambia, or on the other end of that, many are going to South Africa or Egypt, definitely Egypt as well. So, so for me, I saw enough people doing that, and I was just like, okay, that's not I have to think business as well. So, and some years ago, before, there was a brother who he used to tell me about Tanzania all the time, like, brother, you should go. And it wasn't like, in my part of my conscience, I couldn't even find Tanzania on the map. Like, like directly. I mean, sometimes we're not as conscious as we think we are. We're paying attention to what's on our media, what's in our media environment. We're not thinking globally enough to be like paying attention to news in different countries. So that was that. So but we also principally engaged in an education exchange program called the Summer Learning Institute. So this year, for instance, this summer, we took a few young people, just 3 this time, that traveled with us from the U.S. In Tanzania, we had 3 different universities that we work with, and we bring instructors, not just from the U.S., but some in Europe and 2 other parts of Africa, that instruct on different, mostly performing art, singing and dancing. So I'm sort of just getting in there. But we've had some very, very big historical successes over the past year that really have positioned us as, like I said, the brand to the premium brand of travel for the whole East Africa. And I'll explain that a little later.
So the Teaching Artists Institute, you all, when you said, like you said, you went to Tanzania. What you partnered with different universities, and what your purpose and your focus is to what?
So we do a cultural education exchange. We have our instructors, mostly Black, definitely Black students and Black instructors that go there and teach their forms of art, whatever it may be, dancing, singing, many. And for instance, even with the Tanzanians, they're very talented, on many different levels. So, that, regardless of their major, most of them have an art form as well. So, so we've connected. And actually, the biggest thing, we first started, we had a conference there, because we have a conference in each part of Africa each year. This year's going to be in Kenya. But we also
what is the conference? What is the conference about?
So it's going to be, it's the Artisan Conference. To play on artisan and citizen. So we also we're teaching sustainable living and sustainable development, as well as entrepreneurship when we go. Not just, this is how you sing, this is how how you dance. Like, all right, this is how you organize and be socially consciously active, like we're talking about, the soul entrepreneurship. So we learned that with our support, we're able to strategically build up some of the Tanzanians. So now we have the opportunity to work in Kenya. So we're planting some seeds there in November. So I'll definitely share more about that. So those are some of the things that we do, and some of the students from different regions in Tanzania, they're able to go to different universities to meet different students from different universities. Some of these young people, they don't get to go that far in their own country. So Tanzania is it can be considered big. Probably size.
What, can you think? Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. What state would you compare it to?
I can't. I haven't did a geographical. I would have to get back with that. But
right.
Just how big it is. But it's sometimes by buses, it could take days to get to the other side. So
to the other side.
Yeah, right. Like the north and south, and Kenya is up in the north. So Uganda and Congo, different countries that are surrounding it, but it's on the Indian Ocean. So that's how. and Zanzibar is close to it. And
it's on the ocean, huh?
Yes, right.
It's Zanzibar.
Dar es Salaam is the capital. That's all I was going to say. Dar es Salaam is the capital. Many people have heard of Dar es Salaam too. So.
Yeah, Dar es Salaam. Okay. Yes. Well, that's Zanzibar, and and Dar es Salaam. Just Tanzania by itself, is definitely on my list of places to go. And I mean, just the pictures, the water, the people, all the people that I know here in the U.S., just seem to be very, very genuine and warm people to, to be around. So I definitely have that on my list. Well, if you have just joined us, we are here live on Wealthy Sistas Radio. Our very special guest is my brother. I'm calling him Haki Ammi. I tell you, he is an author, an activist, which is really important for our topic today, an entrepreneur. And we're going to just take a little short information break here. He knows this brother out of Baltimore. I am so super excited to let everyone know that you can also find Wealthy Sistas Radio on blackusa.news. That's Mr. Donnie Glover out of Baltimore. Did I tell you? Boy, I tell people great things come out of Baltimore. Good people. But definitely want to invite you to go to blackusa.news. Definitely you will find the best of the best, all types of shows that are concerning our interests, right? On education, political, business, just to name a few. So make sure you check out blackusa.news. And if you are just joining us, welcome our guest, Haki Ammi. And we're talking about the benefits of social entrepreneurship and what you do with the Teaching Artists Institute. So you're hosting conferences and you are taking students from here, from the U.S. to Africa. Right now, your focus is Tanzania, and you said you're going to be in Kenya as well. Did you mention later?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're doing these workshops, and you are also you've partnered with different universities, and they are sharing, and you're taking educators from the U.S. as well to kind of collaborate. And that's incredible. So how is that an example of social entrepreneurship to our listeners? Can you break down the dynamics of that?
Well, several things. One thing that, as I went to Tanzania the first time, and the question always comes up, like, where are the African Americans? Why aren't they investing like the Chinese and the Indians? And they're buying up everything, et cetera, et cetera. So my answer is, on some levels, it does take a level of conscious commitment and strategic awareness, of course. But,
Yes.
Understandably, on some levels, Black people, even in the United States, although we are, blessed on some levels to have some capital where we are actually even able to travel, it's possible that we don't have the capacity to come in with, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to just build up a hotel and, et cetera, et cetera. So, our networks and our pockets may be a little smaller, but, that's where experience and wisdom come in to know, like, okay, how do we take our assets and build the people up there where they're not being exploited. Their services and the products that they offer are being, appreciated by us, and so we're able to find some viable options, even with products that we, export, for instance. We're able to truly create this partnership that we believe is truly growing. So I think that's, certainly a part of our conscious commitment to
Mhm.
our, our healing for Black people, and to really create more opportunities. So we're exploring how do we make these networks work. So that's, I'm excited about the possibility that we call it the art of possibility. I'm not like an
Mhm.
artist in a traditional sense, but spoken word is an art. It can be used if
That's
you
true.
develop. Yes, and so
Everything starts with the thought, then the word you speak
yes,
it.
yes, indeed. And
Yeah.
so I sort of find my part within the Teaching Artists Institute, and let people do what they do. But
Mhm.
ultimately, and I was on another show like 2 weeks ago, and I said we're trying to build up the Bob Marleys, the Fela's, the Makeda, well, she's in South Africa, um, Makeda, and the several different, what I'm saying, the
Mhm.
artists of Africa, to really go come to the forefront in their countries, of
Mhm.
course. So,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we've had some that have been able to travel to the United States, like recently. So we're excited about what they are doing there, with our seeds that we plant.
Support. Right,
Right.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
seeds. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the real word, seeds,
Right. Right. Right.
And you definitely are planting seeds.
Hmm.
Um, when you talked about just what you're doing, I thought about the actual seed time and harvest, and being able to see the the social entrepreneurship. We know, of course, is exactly what you're saying. Is when a company is focused on providing those solutions
Hmm.
that to solve social issues or social challenges.
Hmm.
And I have to make sure that I connect you with Patricia Soke. She was on. She's from the Congo area, and she lives there in Maryland, but she's back and forth, and she's got a major event that's taking place there in Baltimore next
Hmm.
month with a trade. She's opening up. She's partnered with I think Prince George's County, and they're opening up a trade
Hmm.
convention. It's a trading bureau, so to speak, for African Americans and Africans. And
Hmm.
she is focused on that. So it's definitely something I want to make sure y'all connect. I'll send you the link from the show.
Yeah.
But, one of the things she said, I mean, it stuck with me in what you just said. They're always asking, why don't African Americans come over and do and this? She said that they're waiting on us, right? That
Hmm.
we are the ones here in the US, that can to change, that can move, that can bring everyone together. And
Hmm.
it was so chilling when she said it. And I think about what we're talking about with the mindset, the challenge, as you say, we don't we just, we new money here, what you see. We
Right.
just trying to figure it out. But the main thing I think about is we've not dealt with what was done to us,
Hmm.
right? We don't even in many cases you see what is promoted today. We don't even have the image of our self-image love, because we're altering all of our natural state. I mean, it's just so much that we have to deal with in the mindset of being able to embrace and to appreciate, because you can still talk to people today right there in your area, right here in my area, highly populated African Americans. I ain't going to Africa. I'm not from
Right.
Africa,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That mindset. So, what are your thoughts around that in first dealing with, I mean, the root of what was done to us, the
Well,
great job that they did in destroying. the family and everything.
Right, right, absolutely, and thank you for bringing that up. And you know, and this is where my balance between understanding psychology and economics. And statistics. Facts, history, and numbers, they don't lie.
That's
So
right.
with that being said, not everybody, for instance, are going to be like totally interested in Africa uh, on that level. It may be, for instance, a cursor, just on an outside thing, like, or it may just be, I'll try some food, or I'll wear some African clothes or something every once in a while. So my thing is, as an organizer, I have to be wise about who I'm talking to, and it's called pre-qualifying your audience, or knowing your audience, I say. So with that being said, uh, there are other things that I had to like recognize, because it's only 1% of people, Black people in America, uh, that have only been to Africa. Now, with that, another aspect of what we do, for instance, is we bring Africa here. So that's what we do in terms of the products and things like that. But, I am still here, and, I plan on being here for a few years, if that. But hypothetically, like this year, we actually did what's called a civil rights tour. And we actually did stop through Atlanta on that.
Atlanta. You cannot do the civil rights tour without coming to Atlanta.
Yes, right, right, right. So we took like 31 young people from Baltimore to DC, Richmond, Greensboro, North Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, Atlanta,
Wow.
the Mobile, Birmingham's, and New Orleans, and a few other, where we ended up in Arkansas, Little Rock.
Memphis. You missed?
We,
Oh, Little Rock.
yeah, we went in a different direction after New Orleans, and went to Little Rock and Topeka, Kansas. So I think I missed one place. We went to like 10 stops throughout. Got lots of good footage, and so yeah, we had a good time.
How was that experience for them? What did you notice with the kids that you took?
Yeah, they were coming alive. Like some of them, and the 16th Street bombing, that was touching.
Oh, in Birmingham.
Right. And but some of them were like, I want to work at a museum. So again, that exposure start having light bulbs for people, for their exploratory career ideas. It's like, oh, I can see myself doing that. You see what I'm saying? So that's the power of exposure to individuals to have different career, life, entrepreneurial aspirations. So, I'm just happy that we were able to pull it off. 31 young people, mostly high school seniors and juniors. They're going to be, we met some historical figures on that. And so we were just, they had an opportunity of a lifetime, because I never did that as a young person, go through 10 states and meet some civil rights icons, walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I never did that in my life. I just did it this year. So, I'm still trying to grow up, So, right?
Yeah, you're leveling up. Yes.
Right. So, that was, an experience. And we're going to duplicate that next year as well. It was just so successful for us, and first time doing it, and we have to do it again.
That's incredible. Now, I'm going to put your website up. How can people support what you're doing? And see, that's a Success Scholar Haki. Do you have a way that they can support to help you bring more students, shall I say, to Africa and help with what you're doing?
Certainly. Thai Tours on Cash App.
Okay.
TAITOURS. Capital, I don't know if it matters, but it's capital.
And that's at Cash App. Put the $ first, huh?
Yeah,
that's Cash App. Okay.
Thai Tours. So, Yeah, we're excited about the evolutions and operations, and I'm actually leaving for Panama this week. I fly down for what's called a SRDC, the Sixth Regional Diaspora Caucus. Earlier this year in May, I went to Ethiopia as well, and so it's a follow-up conference in Panama to kind of tap into the Afro Latino movement. So I'm sort of just going to really gain some experience, some knowledge, and position the Teaching Artist Institute. Plus, I'm trying to promote our conference in Kenya that we're having. So some of the partners that were in Ethiopia with us will be present for that. So Panama, first time going there. So I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll be back, but because I work in a hut is in Africa. But it was just a great opportunity to go there. So yeah, Thai tours at Cash.
Okay. And so what is the conference that you're hosting in Kenya? When is that again?
Yes, thank you. So we also, with our conferences, we do uh, we do tours at the end. So November the 4th through the 7th is the conference. Some people, they just come for the conference and speak, or they come and attend, network, etc. We have a gala and several workshops. They will be online too. We don't have a link yet, but
Okay.
but
So if they go to your Success Scholars,
well,
they'll be able to.
what I say is look us up on Teaching Artists Institute on Facebook. Teaching
Okay.
Artists Institute to get the most updated information. Our videos. We have a lot of content on there to see our interest meetings and discussions surrounding the Kenya conference. So we have a lot of links and things like that. So, and I'm also looking for some social media experts to build our CRMs and things like that. So, that's been one of the challenges, and I pushed that tremendously. But I mean, we're still able to do what we need to do. But we're in the 21st century, and I think that getting and being efficient is where we need to go. So, but we're
Yeah.
learning, of course. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Teaching Artists Institute on Facebook. Right.
Okay.
So, to learn more about that. So, yeah, and and the tour part is after the conference, the 8th through the
Okay.
16th of November. It's in Nairobi, Kenya. So,
Wow.
and and I'll put out my emails or whatever if anybody wants to contact and learn more about this opportunity that we have. And so we're excited, and we hope that individuals can join us in Kenya. But I understand if individuals can't get off or can't be free for that long. But we will have the live Zooms, or they can sponsor or just donate. We do have sponsorship opportunities as well. We are looking for speakers too, individuals that want to speak. So so we're building it up, building it up.
Building it up. Now, as we closing, and we're talking about the benefits of social entrepreneurship, you are the epitome of that. You've got the Teaching Artists Institute, you have the tours, and that you're taking, you're focusing on the East Coast. You're taking African Americans to Africa, to Tanzania, to Kenya, Ethiopia. What would you say? Is there some other place that I left out? Another place where you're going to say
No, that's
something?
it. That's it.
Okay. What would you say to someone that's listening about the benefits of being a social entrepreneur? What would you say the top three benefits would be?
Mm. Well, one, I'd say building a conscious network is the foundation of everything in entrepreneurship, because there are a lot of distractions out here that if individuals are not grounded in their character or in their conscious, I have a called four C's: consciousness, character, uh, consciousness, character, culture, and capital.
Okay, I like
So,
that.
so those are, some foundation things that I believe if we are able to teach those, because if you have consciousness with no character, or you're aware of some things but you have poor character, you may not, be the person, for instance, that people want to be around, right?
Right.
So
Or to
and you,
trust. Yeah.
exactly right. So that's one thing. I think. Secondly, I'd say capital. We all need capital in this society. I didn't take a vow of poverty, and I believe that so much is given, much is expected. And I think that once you are focused and you continue to educate yourself, you will be, God, Allah, the Creator, will justly reward our deeds, right? And so we have to level up in all aspects of our life, because if we are able to bring more and to attract resources, attract wealth, attract the right people into our life, we can do more for other people. And it don't work no other way, because if you don't have resources yourself, there's going to be limitations to what you can achieve. So I'd say definitely that, those two, and I'd say thirdly, the benefit of building something from out of nowhere, the power of vision. Uh, Many people, they've seen me evolve over the years, and sometimes people come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime, and I've been consistent, I've been confident, I've continued to grow. You see me, carrying books, marketing books of other authors, of my own book. Oh, by the way, yes, here's my book here.
Yes, got to talk about that book, Mission
Yeah,
Unstoppable, with Mr. Les Brown and George Frazier.
yes, yes, yes. Tell me about, and let me tell you how much I mean, they don't know George as much well, Ghana, some people know George, some big people, but
Uh huh.
even Tanzania, like they recognize his face though. But you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
some know his videos, and after I've exposed them to that, it's like, so for me, it's like a co-branding strategy to connect. And so we put this together some years ago. So now I'm really repackaging it, for those markets over in Africa, and to build a larger, broader platform. And so tentatively, we may have, his name is PLO Lumumba, who verbally has confirmed that he will speak at the conference in Kenya. He's a major, major, major big speaker in Africa, probably the biggest speaker in Africa. So I'm just excited about, sometimes you have to move tactfully and
Yeah.
strategically throughout the world. So, I'm hoping to enhance that.
Yes, indeed. That's awesome. And I know, with all of your work that you're doing, you're sitting on several boards there.
All right.
Tell us about what you have with the boards, and what it has been enabled you to do to impact
Right.
your
Right.
organizations.
So in 2018, being active and being connected to the community, I was encouraged to run for what's called the Democratic State Central Committee. I ran for that and I won that. So that was a 4-year term. That term is coming up, but I was
Congratulations.
able to get on to the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus Foundation. So it's like the equivalent to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. So
Statewise. Okay.
right, right, right. So I'm able to really, get some insider education in terms of, how to organize events, how we move through major institutions, and how, you know, interacting with people that's donating 10, $20,000, how they and why they do it. So I'm really getting some real valuable experience in that. So I'm just aboard another 4 years, and it's opening some opportunities for me, and legitimizing, some of the other operations. And so I get to be in certain rooms. So that's a blessing, and it'll be able keep me out there for the next 4 years. So
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations. I mean, they are really, it is definitely to their advantage to have you there. Someone that is balanced as you are and is focused and concerned as you are about your mission. Because, you know, a lot of times we I guess, kind of don't always, like, you did the civil rights tour. And then in the 60s, there was that connection. But that connection to these organizations are not the same because we haven't seen, you know, for one reason or another, that unity. Like, I think we have talked about, you know, the what happened to our communities. But to have you there, I mean, when we talk about segregation and the change from us really having that sense of strong community, but having, you know, like I said, having you there is a benefit, most definitely, to them as well.
All right.
Yeah. Well, Brother Haki, those of you all just tuned in, we are here live on Wealthy Sistas Radio. Our special guest is Haki Ammi. He is the president and founder of the Teaching Artists Institute, and he is the epitome of a social entrepreneur. Given that, as we close, what would be the final thoughts that you would leave with our audience today?
Well, the final thoughts is to be open to understanding who we are, our history, our culture, and but more relevantly and importantly is to be of righteous character and to build and organize and to grow and gain wisdom in all aspects of our life. You know, people, we're going to start at many places, but it's not where you start, it's where you end up. And so many people didn't believe, you know, where I would be, but you know, I wouldn't have perceived that from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I wouldn't have conceptualized just the people that I meet now, you know, meeting presidents in Africa, etc. And so, you know, major big speakers, you know, in the speaking world. So, you know, it's just great to really practice what you preach, shall I say. So I just say continue on, continue to listen to Wealthy Sistas, you know. Yeah, listen to the good shows that you have. You know, you have amazing guests, as I've heard, you know, and I see you on my LinkedIn when you go live. So I will share your stuff when I see you live, okay?
Well, definitely. Thank you so much. And, you know, that's a great segue into reminding everyone to please subscribe, like, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. You know, go hop on Wealthy Sistas on YouTube and Facebook. And definitely do that if you value the content that we have here and the awesome guests like Brother Haki as well. And we want you to be here with us next week. We have a surprise guest. Super excited about who's going to be on the show next week. With all that said, again, thank you, Haki. We wish you the absolute best. And Brother Richard, Mr. Richard, thank you so much. He said thank you both for great sharing and growing. And he says thank you to Haki for your service. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, once again, you guys, it has been a pleasure. And we want to wish you and yours the best of everything great. We will see you next week. Bye now.
This has been another episode of Wealthy Sistas Radio. Thank you for joining us. Catch the full hour encore Thursdays 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern and 24/7 at wealthysistasradio.com. The opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosts, staff, or partners of Wealthy Sistas Radio.